welcome to another special edition. And today I'm joined by Manaka. Ranaka, welcome.
Yes, sir. At your service.
What's up?
You just had to join me when we were talking about alcohol, eh?
Well, darling, look, not that I'm drinking right now, but I do feel for those that are earning a lot of money from the booze, you know. Yeah. So that's why we are save my livelihood, you know.
100%. Listen, let's get straight into it. COVID-19 has affected a lot of industries, not just yours. And over the past few weeks, I've been speaking to a lot of entertainers, saying the same thing, that, we can't work. How has it personally affected you?
On a personal level, look, I'm still working, I'm that freelancer that has a year's contract, you know what I mean? So my biggest worry are my peers who, are freelancing, from job to job to job. So that has been on my mind most of the time, thinking about them and how they're surviving, We get extra gigs, man, and the gigs are not coming in, so that extra mulanyana from, emceeing this or that and that and that, it's not coming in. So I'm also feeling it, but not as much as those that aren't working now because, things have been on lockdown.
And a lot of people always say, it's time to dig into your savings. But as a freelancer, you don't get that luxury of...
How do you save when you're working, from project to project? Sometimes you have to chill. You'll work on a project for like 3 months and then have to chill 6 months, before you get the next one. And how do you save? Because whatever you've saved from the 3-month gig, before the 6 months end, so it's a bit hard on freelancers, although it's hard on everybody else too,
And is that one of the reasons that motivated the family business?
Look, we are a family of cookers. That was the biggest motivation, I learned my cooking from my mom, from my grandmothers. There's certain things that I started eating when I was very young, like cheesecake.
Yeah.
1981, I was eating cheesecake because Granny worked at hotels, you know what I mean? So she would bring some home, your tiramisus, listen here.
Rich gang.
You know what I mean? For a girl born 1979 to be eating tiramisu at 2 years old, nah, you know what I mean? So I think that's where we developed the love for cooking and also I think my mom also used to enjoy watching us enjoy her good meals. And she used to like trying out. So besides just, making an extra, coin here and there, it's a passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did hotel keeping and catering at school, hoping that one day I'd be a banqueting manager. Look at me now. So it's a Malay passion more than anything else.
And before COVID-19, how was the business running? How was it booming? Were you guys selling alcohol? Were people coming?
We were charging per cooler bag, right? So we were not selling alcohol. So we were still to work on licensing, to sell, to have a little bar, the cocktails. But that got nipped in the bud, Mm-hmm. And besides, and I told my mom and Dineo from my experience of running the kitchen and the restaurant in high school. That running a restaurant is not child's play, So it was good in the beginning, and then it got to a little wave where we were now really seeing, flames because, there's besides the head counts and stuff, there's tables that you need to take care of, and there's cutlery and crockery and all that kind of stuff, So I've always advised them to open a takeaway a spot. I can only say thank God to Corona for that, because now we're going to go the takeaway route, which is more simple. It's for me and for a young business like Lapeng La Ranaka, it's more simple. And, you cook, people come and buy, plates and they go, or just 2 tables outside, but not a full-on restaurant.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot of work, trust me. And I'm glad they experienced it. I'm glad they felt it. And now they see that I was right.
Aren't you always right, Manaka?
Yes, with a halo.
So how has the current alcohol ban affected your guys' business directly?
Look, we had to shut down completely, and we didn't survive the lockdown, and so now we had to go back to the drawing board, and where they had to realize that, guys, kokasi, the takeaway is the number one business. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be operating on weekend basis and stuff, So we're going to go that route. Once we get our finances together and get the kitchen ready for just solely takeaways. So that's the route we're going to take now, because we also need our time at home. Yay! We have one loo outside. And it started becoming a problem where now we haven't seen where the business is going, but already we are now talking about, we need to get a second loo, we need to get we were spending so much money on hiring these mobile loos and tents because we hadn't raised money enough for shelter. You know what I mean? So I told them, it's going to be difficult, y'all. But anyway, you just wait and see. So yeah, I'm glad that in a tiny weird way that Corona happened and it showed us flames, and now we're going to do things, proper.
And where were you when the president announced the alcohol ban? Were you shocked just like all of us?
I was shocked, like, how but ingenafi, ichwala, and to be quite honest, I'm not going to lie. I feel as though that the ban just took us back, When you're talking alcohol and cigarettes, we are talking about some people who are addicted, you know what I mean? And if you're going to force them to stop, right, they will try the illegal ways to try and find it, which is nipping. I mean, not even nipping. It's damaging the pocket, because now abo take it or leave it are selling into R2 or R2.99 R5.99. You know what I mean? So I feel that we shot ourselves in the foot by banning, because people would have just bought and gone home to their, like we do with the food. So I think it just made things matters worse, that they just made the craving become like, those chicken licking adverts where the monkey is this big, and it became difficult for especially those that are literally hooked. It brings to mind the video that was circulating on social media of that old man who was at a bottle store, bought 2 nips and opens, click, 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 opens a second one, click, 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 without even breathing. It made me think of that man. What a shame, man. That poor man has to now live his life without doing that. But more importantly, the people that are in business.
Yeah. And speaking about business, yes, you guys have a family business, but I'm sure you were working with other people and supporting their businesses as well, because, we need to support each other's businesses,
Definitely, yes. We were stocking from, a local suppliers of, vegetables, meats and stuff like that. And I mean, when lockdown happened, so we can't give you business. And now that we are out of business, we can't even continue until, we are back on our feet again, So chances are they may not be able to recover. Pardon me. Yeah, I was eating a peach, sorry, in winter. So chances are a lot of businesses may not recover, especially small business, you know what I mean? It's going to be very hard to have to survive the lockdown on whatever little savings you have as a business, because now work is not coming in. You end up digging into the savings to feed your families, and then when those savings are done, then what? No more business. Yeah. You see, so that's the sad part about it, And I really hope and dream sometimes. Maybe we even need to pass our guys, our people are really suffering, They're really suffering. Small businesses actually are really suffering, Some will never come back. Some might come back. And that's just how it is right now. And it's a very, very sad case.
I mean, just like you, before the lockdown, I started a small business. I was just selling, my gin. And and we're just taking off. Things were looking great, but now it's like, yo, what do you do? Because what if no one knows how long the ban's going to be? What if it's 6 months? What if it's a year? What happened to the investment that you made, to make that gin?
Look, with the restaurants, yes, I understand that they suffered quite a chunk of a loss. But now that we some can dine, we can dine in and sit. They can still serve us virgin cocktails if one wants. But at the end of the day, they're operating. What about Sis Lucy there, who owns the Shebeen, who just completely had a shutdown, had no other income except for the local guys buying booze from her in Gutunyana here and there, or I'm a Casey, you know what I'm trying to say?
The people she's hired.
Exactly, the people that she's hired. You are a big outlet like what you call these liquor shops, at a mall. Now you're shut down. How you gonna pay your rent? You know what I mean? How you gonna pay? Or keep your staff afloat to go to at least guys. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't think that this was well thought. And the implications of illegalities that are happening now. You understand? Like, people have gotten into illegal ways of trying to get or trying to sell. So it's terrible. It's terrible.
So what's your advice for small businesses that are in your shoes? What would you like to say them in these tough times?
Fight, guys. We need to fight. You know what I mean? We can't just sit back and say, oh, we are hungry. We need, look, we didn't sell alcohol, as Lapeng. But we were we were allowing people to bring in their cooler bags at a charge, like $50, you can bring your cooler bag, chill at home, have a plate, and, have your own drinks, but for those for those whose livelihoods depended on just selling the booze, we need to literally, government needs to hear us. You know what I mean? They need to hear us now. That's why I'm choosing to stand with those that were surviving off selling alcohol. I mean, look, government has put in place things to deal with abusers. But what is put in place for the business owner who's been told, no, stop selling? Yeah, I mean, it was done in a very rough way, as if like,
we're criminals.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So yeah, they need to change their ways, and I say, come on, guys, let's get together and fight. And those of us who feel your pain will fight along with you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that SAB came up with this initiative, and we're gonna fight. We're gonna hold hands and fight together.
Hashtag save our livelihoods, man.
Hashtag save our livelihoods, my darling. Yep.
All right, and then lastly, when am I getting adopted? I love your family. I always tell Dineo this. I want to be the last born.
Wait, are you going to supersede Ranaka? We are still dealing with that childish, that adult child.
Oh man, like most people, I love you guys. Sure, when are we getting a new season? Please tell me we're getting a new season.
Oh yes, we are. But shooting has been a bit difficult because of Corona, obviously. It being a reality show, and we are almost everywhere. People, there and some over there. It's been a bit difficult, but we are shooting, and probably sometime very soon, you will get our crazy family back on screens.
Hey, I can't wait. It's going to be lit.
Maybe there might be an edition called Mag G. Who knows?
Oh yeah, quickly, before you go, please be honest. It's just me and you here, né? So I'm not going to put this up. Well, I'll think about it.
Oh, wow.
Why do you think Dineo and what's the other your other sister? Yeah, the middle sister. What's Mpumi? Why do you think they don't get along? Your honest opinion.
Look, guys, I've had to deal with this issue ever since I was 4 years old. You know, it's a case of sibling rivalry. It's a case of the one sibling not being so open to the new family member, you know. So this thing started when Dineo was born. So you can imagine how old this beef is. But when they get along, I prefer to give them their space as the older sister so that they can, you know, bond, harmonize, you know. Also at the same time running away for when shit goes down. Because it always goes down, you know what I mean? So I try to play the peace bearer all the time, trying to, you know, whenever I can. But it gets a bit tiring, you know. I also need to live my life, you know. So, bruh, it is like since Dineo was born problem. You know, for me, was that child who was never open to having somebody else join the family. She wanted to be last born, and that was that. And sadly, Dineo had to be the one to come and break the news. Yeah, I'm here now.
And I always feel sorry for you when I watch the show because like you're stuck in the middle.
I know, bruh. Hey, I know, but trust you me, those days of being stuck in the middle are gone. I don't give anymore. Listen here, I'm about me now. It's about me now, you know. So if you're not, you know, like trying to be peaceful and trying to be civil with each other, I shoshola pambi. I shosholoza mina. I'm big mover, you know. So. Yeah, man. It's a since Dineo was born problem. Awesome. That's how old it is.
Manaka, thank you so much for joining me. So what are we doing? We're still on Generations. What else are we pushing? What's going on?
Still on Generations, my darling. Yeah, we are busy, hectically catching up at work here. And yeah, man, there's some interesting storylines coming up, which I can't share with you guys because once we share, you guys just go straight to Netflix and don't watch us. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a whole lot coming through. And we are literally working on Saturdays now, trying to catch up for South Africa. You know, so that awesome. We have content and. Yeah.
Awesome. Manaka, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Love you, and I'll see you on my TV screen.
My gosh, why didn't you tell me to take my gown off? You're so mean. At the end of the interview, only now I get to take it off. You see the life of an actress, guys. We're always in gowns. But I was dressed up and I was made up. I made an effort. I just forgot to take the gown off.
I didn't even realize until you said so.
Come on, or this blue thing is there. Damn. Yeah, but anyway, it's my work down to show with you guys. We seriously are trying to catch up. Because I keep my gown with my interview. I mean, really.
All right, thank you, Manaka. Love you long time, ne?
Love you too, Beijing. Thank you for having me, man.
Sweet.